Hi everybody, this is Book-S Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Digital Platinum Flash figure. So before we take a look at Flash, let's go ahead and take a look at all of the accessories that he comes with. So first up, you get your standard DC base, and I actually think this Flash figure stands better than the previous version. I don't think you needed to stand with the other one unless you really wanted to get him in a running pose, but yeah, I think this one stands a lot better than the previous version. Up next, you get your digital code, which I have already redeemed. Up next, you get your data file. And if you want to read that, go ahead and pause that now. Up next, he comes with 4 Speed Force effects pieces, and I still don't like how these look. I don't have these on here the greatest, but these smaller ones that I'm assuming are meant to go on his arms don't even want to stay on there. Anytime I try to put them on, they just fall off. So yeah, McFarlane Toys really needs to give us some new Speed Force effects pieces, because I haven't liked the way any of them have looked, and they don't really even stay on the figure. So yeah, we definitely need some new ones of these from McFarlane Toys. Up next, you get his unmasked head, and then the mask down that you put around his neck right there. And this is the same exact head that was used on the previous Target exclusive version, but this time the colors are a little bit different on him. So comparing this new head sculpt to the previous version, the skin tone is a lot lighter. You do get a little bit of variation painted over top of it, but I feel like it's way too concentrated, especially right here between his brows and on his nose. It's like a darker skin color, and it just really stands out, especially on the cheeks right there. I think this previous head sculpt looks so much better. The hair is also changed. It's a lot darker, and the blonde is more of a sandy blonde as opposed to the regular blonde that was used on this version. So yeah, it is just a repainted head sculpt, but I think this one looks a lot better. I feel like even the eyes look better. I don't know what it is about this one, but I'm not overly fond of this new head sculpt, even though it's the same one, just painted a little bit differently. And finally, he comes with his masked head sculpt. And this is the same as the previous masked head sculpt. The paint's just a little bit different on it. And I can honestly say, I think I like the previous version better. Just like with the unmasked head sculpt, there's a bunch of really weird looking shading over top of his skin. If it was subtle, I think it would look a lot better. Like if it was printed on, I think it would look really nice. But yeah, it's just really concentrated. Like on the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman figure that I reviewed, they had shading over top of her skin, and it looked really natural. I think it looked really good. But yeah, on the Flash here, it just looks really funny. Here are the two head sculpts next to each other, and I like the skin tone on this previous one better. I think it looks a lot better than on this one. There's also some subtle differences to color on his body. The Target exclusive version is a darker red, and on this new Platinum version, it's lighter. And on the Platinum, the yellows are just a little bit more vibrant. It's a very subtle difference. The main difference on this figure, though, is the legs are cast in this translucent shimmery plastic. And I love the way that looks. I love how the red fades into the translucent plastic right there, the way they painted that. I think that looks very, very awesome. My only complaint with it, though, is I do think his forearms and hands should have been cast in the same color as well. I think the solid red fading into that translucent red on his arms would have looked really good paired with the legs like that. Or honestly, even just the whole figure being cast in that color. I believe it was a DC Collectibles figure that was cast entirely in translucent red plastic. I think that would have looked good as well to just have this whole thing be translucent plastic. But I think McFarlane Toys probably went the route that they did with this, because the previous Flash figure has gotten very expensive and very hard to find. Personally, I think you can skip on this if you have the previous version. But yeah, if you don't have it, then this is a good figure to have. So now let's go ahead and go over his articulation. So he has a ball-jointed neck that can look up just about all the way. He can look down very slightly. He can move his head side to side and all the way around. His shoulders can move out all the way and spin all the way around. He has a swivel at the bicep, double-jointed elbows that can bend in that far, wrists that can move up and down and spin all the way around, a ball-jointed diaphragm and waist that can move back all the way. He can crunch forward very slightly. He can move side to side up here at the torso as well as the waist, and all the way around very nicely. He has hips that can do a complete split. He can kick forward very far, but it does squeak whenever you do that. He can kick back all the way. He has a very nice thigh swivel. Double jointed knees that can bend back that far. Ankles that I do think have improved articulation from the previous Flash. That can move down all the way, up just about all the way, spin all the way around, and to articulation. It is kind of stiff, but it can move up all the way. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to the Target exclusive version of himself. You can see that there's not a whole lot of differences aside from the legs being cast in that translucent shimmery plastic. Here he is next to the modern Flash figure. Here he is next to Nightfall Batman. Here he is next to the new gold label Superman figure. And finally, here he is next to the Platinum Collector's Edition Wonder Woman. So overall, I don't think this is necessarily a bad figure, but it's honestly one I could have skipped. I have the previous version of Flash, and that one is still the one that I'm going to use in my classic Justice League display. But if you missed out on that version, then definitely pick this one up. I do think it's good that McFarlane Toys gave people a second chance to get a classic Flash figure in their collection, because that original one was a Target exclusive, and it's gotten really hard to find. It's really expensive now. So I do think it's good that McFarlane Toys did re-release this. It just sucks that it does have some differences from the previous version, mainly just the translucent legs and the weird paint on the face. I will say I'm not fond of the face paint on either head sculpt, but it's honestly not a deal breaker, especially if you need a good McFarlane Flash in your collection. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.